My name is Derek Rockwaller, and I own Rockwood Specialty Supply. We cut exotic hardwoods and sell them to crafters around the world. We started this business in 2020 by accident. We were doing a beard care business, which we still do. I was wanting to be a pool cue maker, and I was tired of paying the prices that we were paying for the wood. We have a few main customers we deal with, but that tends to change over time. You got to understand that this is not a food product or anything like that. When you're selling wood, when people buy a lot from you, at some point they no longer need wood. The goal for us is probably going to be with some of these bigger production companies. We've been trying to get out there and turn those guys into the larger customers. But I do have a steady base of customers that spend more around the $100 to $300 range per week, and I would say we generally have about 30 to 40 guys that at any given week could come and spend that amount with us. So when the wood comes in, it comes in board feet of 16-foot lengths normally, 2-inch thickness, and could be anywhere from 4 to 10, 12 inches wide. So what I do is I break it down into like 18-inch pieces or 24-inch pieces out of those 16-foot boards. So I'll have a whole day of breaking down the board feet into 18, 24-inch pieces. Sometimes I have custom requests for 30-inch pieces. But once we get that done, I'll move it over to the table saw. Then I break it down to what we call turning squares, and then I'll clean it up on a joiner. And then once I get all my stock done, I might have 100 pieces of a certain species there that we can take, and then we'll move it over to an area where we take pictures. So then we'll have days where we're just doing pictures of wood all day. Now, outside of cutting the wood like I do, my normal day-to-day, even while I'm cutting wood, is probably half the day. At the least 25% of my day would be talking with customers. When we started this business, I think it was all difficult. I didn't know the first thing about wood, so it was just learn as you go. But I'm always very determined when it comes to things, and I like to learn. So the hardest part was spending that much money on the first pallet load of wood, which I don't even remember. At the time, it was probably like $3,000, which is a lot of money to throw out there, and not knowing if you're going to sell a single piece, but just getting to know who's who and who's buying what. Once I sold a little bit, I knew it was going to do well. So you just have to know how to market yourself. It don't always cost money to market yourself. You just kind of got to know who's the serious buyers, who's doing what markets, who's going to spend the most money. And it's just a huge gamble. It just starts to snowball. You'll snowball where you start getting these loyal customers. You start knowing what people want. You start learning about the woods. You know who to target, who to market. So it's a very slow going process, but it was something that was a little scary, but you got to put yourself out there. And that was probably the hardest part of the business, was the fear of the unknown and not even knowing what I was doing. But eventually, like all things, you learn, and here we are, and we're still growing.